Adeline Virginia Woolf was an English writer, considered one of the most important modernist 20th century authors and also a pioneer in the use of stream of consciousness as a narrative device. Virginia Woolf. Professions for Women. The essay is an adaptation of the speech that Virginia Woolf gave at the National Society for Women's Service on January 21, 1931. On this day, Woolf had been summoned to talk about her personal professional experience to the young women who were about to find a job. Woolf highlights the importance of women's independence regarding both their professional and private life. Employment is an important aspect of a woman's life, and a fundamental step to equality and self-sufficiency, which was still unknown to the majority of women. Woolf's point is that being a woman and a writer is not as dangerous and impertinent as being a doctor or a lawyer can be, at least as long as said woman remains silent and keeps from harshly criticizing the work of her male colleagues. Kindness, tenderness and a sort of devotion are necessary if a woman intends to keep working in a field wholly dominated by a patriarchal hierarchy. When Virginia Woolf wrote Professions for Women, she had an urge to satisfy, a will to explain, and to be understood by men, and especially women. She had a message of urgent importance that she needed to transmit. Her words tell of a story behind the story. Women and writing seemed harmless enough, even in times of male-dominated literature, for as Woolf put it herself, writing was a reputable and harmless occupation. The family peace was not broken by the scratching of a pen. No demand was made upon the family purse. In other words, some women succeeded as writers among other professions due to the relative cheapness associated with the work. In Professions for Women, the character realizes that before she can accept herself as a professional woman, however, she must first confront her demons. She believes in the necessity of destroying what she calls the angel in the house. The angel in the house is an ideal. She is the woman writer's subconscious, a subconscious brought on by generations of an oppressive Victorian society. This woman is the creation of men. She is the charming, quiet, unselfish, and pure woman of the house. In other words, she did not have or want to have a mind or wish of her own, much less a room of her own. The only way for the character to be able to write honestly about novels written by men was to kill the angel in the house, to get rid of this submissive image of a woman who never disputes anything, and goes along with everything. I took my pen in my hand to review that novel by a famous man. She slipped behind me and whispered, "My dear, you are a young woman. You are writing about a book that has been written by a man. Be sympathetic, be tender. Flatter, deceive, use all of the arts and wiles of our sex. Never let anybody guess that you have a mind of your own. Above all, be pure." The character's only way out was the vanquishing of this mindless Victorian product. Killing the angel in the house was part of the occupation of a woman writer. The character, much like the author, could not accept that the only way for a woman to succeed in life was to charm, conciliate, and lie her way through the maze of male-dominated social structures. The author concludes with questions future generations of women writers must inevitably ask themselves. You have won rooms of your own in the house hitherto exclusively owned by men. You are able, though not without great labor and effort, to pay the rent. But this freedom is only a beginning. The room is your own, but it is still bare. It has to be furnished. It has to be decorated, it has to be shared. What will those women do with their freedom? Who will they want to share it with? For the first time in history these women will ask themselves these questions, and be free to answer them as they please. End of the review. Thank you.